morning. My name is Kirsty Dignam and I'm here to talk about, well, originally I was going to say I'm here to discuss the collective energies this week. Something felt really off about that. More to go deeper and not actually discuss the collective energies, but the energies from the earth, the energies from the universe or the united verse, the energies that are actually behind us now as the collective. I began to ponder, is there actually any difference between the collective energy and universal energy, and am I just being pedantic? And as I say that, it really feels almost like there's a clearing in my throat. What I can really sense is the collective energy being energies that we have collected, not collective, things that we have held on to. And what I can really feel is almost a misalignment between what is occurring, what we are connecting to, and what is actually being asked of us from the earth in particular. So an example of this, my own guidance today, was to actually hold on to a dream that I've let go of, that I thought wasn't applicable or needed or part of the greater plan. However, the advice, I want to say guidance and advice in one go. And it feels relevant to point out this week in particular that we note the difference between advice and guidance. And there is a difference. You know, advice generally comes from other people's versions, this video included. Guidance is something that comes from within. We often talk about different guides and different energies that we connect to, but we can only do that on the level that we connect with ourselves. So an example of that, the tarot. Yes, I will utilize the tarot today, but like any message, they are tools, and it takes our own inner tuition to interpret those tools. So unless we can really, really, really expand our own energy and our own stories, we only ever discuss things from that level. And that feels very poignant this week in regards to the collective energy. So the tarot that I'm being drawn to use, my voice has got very loud, the tarot that I'm being drawn to use is the Dreams of Gaia tarot. Now, I particularly like these tarot because they do have some of the structure of the original archetypes, but there are additional cards in there, and they just make you think outside of what we know, outside of the box. There's nothing wrong or right with structure, particularly routine that has got us this far. But in order to grow, we often have to see outside of what we once knew. And that feels really relevant this week, to take what we know but expand it. So with that in mind, with the Dreams of Gaia tarot today, what I'm actually going to do is connect to the Dreams of Gaia. This week, I'm aware that we have a new moon in Cancer. The previous full moon was in Capricorn. I'm acutely resonating with the sheer fact that the previous full moon was in the star sign of my father, and this upcoming new moon is in the star sign of my late mother. There feels an essence there regarding parenting, regarding how we care and nurture for ourselves and for others, and also related to our parents. I've been having a discussion with a couple of friends this week in particular, and much inner child, I don't want to say work, what is the word? Language, much inner child language is rising to be heard, and it seems to be the essence is behind releasing those that have parented us, whether that is our childhood, whether that is the teachers in our life, educational establishments, religion, those in charge, almost releasing the expectations on them in order to truly free ourselves. You know, I see a lot of concern regarding authority, establishments, ancestry, and what we wish they would do, and how we are being let down. You know, there's been many a times when I've called on guides and asked for help and not received what it is I was actually asking for, or at least in the way that I perceived it. I am not advocating a mother knows best or, you know, matriarchy, patriarchy type energy. What I am suggesting is that we let go of it all, of all the expectations this week, of all the collective stories, so that we can truly start a new journey, so that we can truly free ourselves and others. Yes, and as a result, take responsibility, that ability to deal with our own responses, take that on board ourselves, and truly find the empowerment behind that. So with that in mind, I'm just going to quickly drink my tea. I felt like I needed to say what it was I was going to do. That feels quite poignant this week, to actually let people know what you're going to do. It almost feels like it could be the balm over some unnecessary emotions or pain this week. But then what is necessary and what is unnecessary? As long as we learn, we continue to grow, we continue to flow. So with that in mind, Gaia, Pachamama, Earth Mother, what energies are you presenting us, your children, this week, so that we may sing in a united verse with you and all of our siblings, all of our relatives, the stone people, the plant people, the two-legged, the four-legged, the many-legged, the fin, the furred, the feathered, the winged ones, the elements within us and around us. What are your dreams for us? And what energy will rise this week to help us wake up to them, to our purpose, to the reason that we are here? I feel a real grandmother energy coming in for many this week, in particular, a deep wisdom, concerns whether or not we are able to hold space for this. And we are. Oh, a bit of a jumper. Okay, which was actually the High Priestess. Perfect timing. Which feels very poignant, perfect timing. It may not feel like it. Or it may actually feel like it. You know, that cause to celebrate when we are actually in alignment. Gosh, my head. Wow. My crown chakra is being stretched, but what's happening is at the same time my third eye is being stretched, and also from ear to ear, all around my head, for the energies this week. You know, when we are in alignment with, when we recognize, jumpers, when we recognize what it is we are capable of, we are in alignment with the dreams of Gaia. The hope that she had when we came here. The promise, the potential. It's time to recognize what we're actually capable of as a species. Because we can only ask for help or guidance from the level of which we are at. And that can almost give a hierarchy to places where there were no hierarchy. You know, if we're a common example when we pray, I have no opinion on whether or not people pray on their knees or how they do it, but it's really looking at from what level we are praying from. Are we praying from that empowered, enlightened, connected to source as one individual, or are we, begging? Really looking at our own energy this week in regards to what we ask for, how we ask for, and who, as a result, we ask for. So if we are stuck in a particular energy and we don't do the work on that and then ask for guidance from that energy, it is that will be reflected back to us. It's the same with the tarot. It reflects back what is actually occurring. Okay, so really, really taking a look at what is being mirrored back to us this week collectively, so that we can look at our place in the united verse. Okay. So there's 2 of Cups on the bottom of the card. Right. Energies for this week. Gaia, please. What I really sense this week is a need, and it is a need to connect to the earth, to truly listen to her messages, her hopes, her plans for us all, to not be distracted now. To wake up to her dreams. Okay. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm going to have those 2 for Wednesday. Thursday, okay, so I'm going to have that there. Friday, 2 for Saturday, Sunday, 2 for overall. So when I said 2 for overall, what I almost said was 2 over all. So it felt like it was a my way or the highway. That's what I feel, either this or that. Really looking at that this week, looking at how what is being reflected to us can actually help all involved, not just the individual. So the energies that we have this week overall are the Queen overall. That's what I want to say. Overall. Are the Queen of Earth, the Queen of Pentacles, and the 4 of Swords. So really, again, connecting to the earth, really resting in the body, really taking stock of where you are right now in relation to what is being asked for you. Because one of the cards, or 2 of the cards that I pulled out for this week, I'd actually brought down a plectrum from my son's guitar. I was going to say husband's. From my son's guitar by accident, but when it came down, it's for Wednesday, and it feels related to plucking up the courage. So when we feel like we're on our own, when we feel like our dreams aren't quite in alignment with the greater good or with what the earth wants for us, that can feel as almost if we have to have huge courage. If we take the time to connect to the plans that are here for us now by really rooting into where we are, really grounding into the earth this week, taking that time to rest, to pause, to be in the void. What I sense is a huge influx of energy from Pachamama that will help us to remember we are supported, we are held. All the time we are in union with what is good for the earth, it is good for us. So that feels like the energy overall. Is there anything else to add here? On the 4 of Swords, what I can really see, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that card? Is the clock here in the masculine's heart. Not to get caught up in the concept of time. Not, it almost feels like a running out of time, or when is something going to happen, or even that it may be happening too fast. When we ground into our heart, when we ground into the earth, we find our own innate beat and rhythm. It is that we bring to the united verse. So if things feel like they're shifting or not shifting, open the heart space, connect to Pachamama, find your own rhythm. And what I'm seeing, I don't know if you've seen it, is a clip out of The Wolf of Wall Street, Matthew McConaughey, where he taps his heart and just builds up a rhythm that gives him the strength to cope with the stress of the economic market. So, my eyes are being drawn to my journal, and on the front it has an image of a deer, which I always see as the divine feminine, but underneath it has keep on going, never give up. And that's just as I'm looking at today's energies. Now, today's energies are 19 in number, so they would automatically in the tarot be related to the moon In this deck, they're called emotions. Okay, so if you can see that card, almost that despair there of the individual, unable to see because they're so caught up in how they feel. You see that? Take it to the next level. Hold space for this. You know, really, really connect to your higher self here and the wisdom that comes from the emotions, because in the picture there's actually a pentagram with the 5 elements and a heart underneath. And again, it feels poignant to bring back the energy of last week about that 5th element coming in, about that higher emotional intelligence coming in on the Monday in particular. On the Tuesday, the 9 of Pentacles. And it does resonate here that if we connect to the earth, you really can't see that card. There we are. If you connect to the earth and allow that to be your 3rd vision, not just your sight, but the sight of Pachamama, that there's great gifts to be had there. Now, I can't see what's in the dish. I can't see the gifts. But what I can see around this individual's heart is a butterfly and a rose. Transformation, blooming on the Tuesday. That's the ultimate gift, is it not? And I can see many acorns hanging from her crown and much growth there. When we connect to the higher energy behind our emotions, our guides, whatever it is we are connecting to, we realize that in order to do that, we have evolved our own energy. That is the gift. That is the realization that we have actually transformed. We have actually bloomed and opened up to our place here on the earth with the 9 of Pentacles. Wonderful, yes? We take our emotions to that higher state of consciousness. That's what I hear on the Monday, and that gives us the gift of an heightened vision that comes from our connection to our place here. On the Wednesday is the day of courage. It's the day of the plectrum. It's the day of plucking out our own tune. And on the Wednesday, we have the 3 of Swords. Now, I really feel that. Excuse me. And the 9 of Swords. What I'm sensing is not to search into messages on the Wednesday behind trauma, behind the end of patterns and stories, but to just really feel into it. And then realizing just how far we've come with our emotional intelligence. Because the 3 of Swords in this deck, you do have the skull. Wait for that to focus. Okay, you do have the skull, and it took some time then for that to focus, and you can't actually see the individual face here, which is very interesting because it's actually a masculine, and it's very blonde, and he has the key around his neck to his own knowledge, to his own knowing, and he's holding that in his hands. Behind him there is the dragon of air and a new language coming in. Don't complicate it. That's what I really hear. Don't complicate it. Just know that you have the key through your lessons. You have the ability and the wisdom to write your own story. You can stop this pain. And that's the difference between the 9 and the 10 of Swords. Realizing it is within your ability to decide that you have learned and it's time to move forward. Because the 9 of Swords here, unfortunately, you can't see the sword, but there's an incredible sword in this individual's chest. And we have that 3rd eye again. So we have the 3rd eye on the Tuesday coming from the earth. Once we connect and really ground on the Tuesday, a huge influx of higher energy coming in to our mind. But that sword in the heart, which you can't quite see, it actually binds this individual's wrists. Now, the individual is holding a lotus in their hands with fire at their fingertips, you know, ready to open, ready to bloom. But the hands are being held together with a sword in the chest. So really, really, really looking Wednesday at what energy may still be in your heart. I'm finding myself praying, seeking guidance if you need to. But what energy still remains in your heart? I couldn't see the face on the camera of the individual, and it may not be an obvious energy. It may not be from somebody obvious. It could very well be a collective wound almost. That's what I'm hearing on the Wednesday. But it is about having the courage to continue to sing your own song, plucking up your own rhythm, learning from everything, from all the skulls, the deaths, the transformations, knowing ultimately in your hands is the lotus of enlightenment. At your fingertips are the fire of transformation. Taking the courage to be really responsible for that. So now I see the reason that I couldn't see the face of the individual is because it is us. It is us individually looking at the pain in the heart that is still keeping us trapped, and that will be different for everybody, but ultimately the medicine is in the dis-ease, finding where it's come from, finding the gift behind it in order to release yourself on the Wednesday. On the Thursday we have the Hero, or in this deck I do believe it's the Knight of Wands. And all I hear for the Thursday is being your own knight in shining armour. Not waiting for the universe to come and save you. Not waiting for others to come and save you. But knowing everything that you've gone through Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday has given you the strength to be able to do it yourself. Ultimately, if not, we have the other side of the Knight of Wands, which is to charge in head first. I do see the weather improving round. I don't know why that would suddenly come in, because I don't see myself as a weather forecast lady, but the weather improving round about the Thursday, because we've got that vision that comes from the sun here. So we've had it from the earth, we've had it from higher energies. This one is outside of us. This one comes from the sun. This is a light that may come from others and their ability to shine, or from the weather itself, and it really shifts things up a gear. On the Friday, again, we have the Knight of Water, the Knight of Cups, which is the Counselor. So the beginning of the week, very much we are being asked to look at universal emotions. Yeah, collective emotions, but by the end of the week, the impact that that has upon us and who it is we are seeking out to help with this. I was thinking, is there anything else? But yes, we have the eye here again, but this time the eye is in the moon. Now, the moon very much is linked to our emotions, very much linked to the feminine, but also remember that the moon this week is new and in Cancer, which is linked to our emotions, linked to the feminine as well. So what I really feel, she knows, that's what I want to say, she knows. What I really feel on the Friday is to connect to your own internal cycles by being present with the earth. There are many shamanic ceremonies that you can do. I'm actually I now see Tuesday, the gift on Tuesday. I'm actually doing dispatcho on Tuesday with an individual, but there are many ceremonies that you can do. Sun, bringing down the sun to cleanse your energy centers, but also bringing down the moon, calling down the moon. And what I really feel on the Friday, with it being new moon in Cancer, if there are any emotions within you now that you wish to cleanse, any emotions, and I'm hearing, bear in mind the work will need to be done once that's been intended. But if there is anything that you wish to, my hands are going, anything that you wish to shift on the Friday, bring down the energy of that new moon in Cancer, because we are talking new beginnings with the feminine, and how we perceive and how we connect and how we flow with the feminine, but also a flushing out of our emotional energy in regards to expectations of the teacher, of the parent, of including the way that we parent ourselves, expectations of the hierarchy, including spirit. If we continue to see ourselves lowlier than everything else and then ask to connect, we will only connect from that energy. So this Friday, really, really using water, the moon, water ceremony, having a bath and cleansing your chakras with it, really using water to cleanse and clear anything that is blocking the flow that comes from connecting to the earth. Oh, okay, on the Saturday, we have the Ace of Pentacles. Once we've done that cleansing, yeah, a new physical beginning here. Oh, but it's going to take courage. It's going to take the heart of a lion, the soul of a dragon on the Saturday, or alternatively call in these energies. Okay, now what I'm clearly hearing is it's the divine feminine on Saturday that will come in for many of us, and really connecting to how much she has changed in order to look at how we connect to her. I realise I'm saying the word connect so often, but I can't stress it enough. Connect, connect, connect this week in particular. You know, when we think of dragons, when we think of the divine feminine, and when we think of the earth, there's great strength there, great power there. When we think of those in charge or those we seek guidance from, there's great power there. Don't forget the gentility. I hear the phrase, with great power comes great responsibility. Yeah, don't forget the gentility of it all as well. Because for the Saturday we have two cards, and the second card is the Seven of Swords. What I see here is almost a new way of thinking. But unlike the Nine of Swords on the Wednesday, this new way of thinking is protecting the individual, or it feels almost like we need to protect this new way of thinking. Now, it is the Seven of Swords. Remember, this can come from a place of deception or a place of how we believe things should be. So the physical new beginning that I feel Saturday is letting go of the shoulds, woulds and coulds. Yeah, allowing freedom for others, because ultimately what we're doing is allowing freedom for ourselves. Okay, not protecting anymore or feeling that need to protect this vision that we have. If we have a vision for a new world, one that is built of peace and joy or love or whatever that vision may be, if we then go out into the world and sing the complete opposite through our actions, the vision is not seen. And the vision is most definitely not manifested. Be what it is you wish to see. That's what I really hear on the Saturday. Your itchy shoulder. And pat yourself on the shoulder, because it's not easy. It isn't easy to readjust to these changes, and to stay in alignment with whatever vision you may have isn't easy. But that is the gift, because from there comes the lessons. From there we seek our own counsel. From there we become our own hero. From there we become the master of our emotions, not in the sense that we dictate them, enslave them, ignore them, but in a new way of freeing the divine feminine. We feel them, we hold space for them, we create change with them as the gift that they are. So on the Sunday, we have the Ten of Wands. And what I hear here is, what doesn't break me makes me. It's all in the perception. Yeah, the Ten of Wands can very much be everything being too much or burnout. But what I see here is huge Kundalini transformation. Okay, if we utilize it. He has instruments in his hands just like we do. Yeah, we have the tools. It's about using them now rather than disregarding them. And in this card in particular, the difference between the Hero on the Thursday and the Ten of Wands on the Sunday, we are connected to that sun. We are connected to our own light. We have realised that rather than it being reflected to point it out to us, it's within us, and we can really start to utilise that change by connecting to the light within. That is our ultimate tool. You know, I hear a lot of phrases about light workers, and they all have conditions with them. And what works for the individual works for the individual. I'm not here to judge or, you know, everyone has their own opinion, myself included. For me, the light is light, just with different densities, and I work with them all, within me and around me. Does really, really feel like that is going up. Yeah, of course, going up a notch this week. We're in the Sirius gateway. Oh, they want to say not serious. And to really emphasize that, but the Sirius gateway. I think it's from the 3rd until the 7th, which really puts emphasis on our light here universally and illumination. And I'm looking at the book Grandmother of Time, illuminating the wisdom that we've gained now and really taking that forward. So I'm going to do one last card for the week. Yeah, it's the 10 of Pentacles. Recognizing your own worth. Recognizing your own worth and, you know, taking the mask off now of who you've tried to be, who you feel you need to be. And in this card, the Ace of Pentacles, the dragon that was once so huge, that energy that was once so huge and powerful, is actually in her arms. She's cradling it, she's mothering it, she's nurturing it, she's working with it. And behind her, I don't know if you can see, is the deer. The divine feminine, always, always guiding. So with that, with the words on my own diary, keep on going, never give up. Is there anything else to add? So I'm looking at the cards and I can find my mind searching out symbolisms. And as I do so, what I hear is search with your heart. So I do that, and then I can see the sword on the 7 of Swords, the one that I couldn't see in the 9, really, really highlighting itself. And next to this, the individual is holding feathers and rosary beads almost, praying for our dreams. Search with your heart. Keep praying from here. And now I'm looking at the Queen of Pentacles, and within her chest area is a buffalo. Just feel into that strength in your heart, that buffalo wisdom and the buffalo energy. There were many prophecies, and one of them spoke of the white buffalo calf, that when it returned, the new earth would be born. The white buffalo has been born since. The new earth has been born since. Recognizing that in our heart now and allowing it to open and flow, rather than let the past be the sword that we cannot see. By truly connecting to the earth this week, we will find the gift of all we have discovered, of all that has grown. take this new divine feminine, cleansed, cleared, nurtured, truly seen, forward. Take care.